Hello students. So our last topic was about study on the animal cells. Now we go over to nucleus. Nucleus is a darkly colored spherical or oval dot-like structure near the center of the cell. Now whenever you study a plant cell or an animal cell, when we stain the cells, whether it was an onion cells or whether it was a cheek cell, you might be seeing that below the microscope, you will be seeing that you see a spherical or an oval structure near the center. That part is called nucleus. The nucleus has got a double layered covering called the nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane is porous. It has got pores which help in the transfer of materials from inside the nucleus to the cytoplasm. Nucleus contains chromosomes. You have already studied about chromosomes in 8th standard. Chromosomes which are visible as rod-shaped structures only when the cell is matured and about to divide. But in a cell which is not dividing, and an immature cell, chromatin materials are visible as entangled mass of thread-like structures. Chromosomes contain information for inheritance of features from parents to next generation in the form of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. Chromosomes are composed of DNA and protein. DNA molecules contain the information necessary for constructing and organizing cell. Functional segments of DNA are called genes that help in the inheritance of characters. Let me just show you a small figure about the nucleus. As you can see from the structure of the nucleus, it is a round body, a dense, dark, oval shaped or a dot shaped structure that is there in the center of the cell. It has got a double layered membrane. There is a nuclear envelope is there, which is porous. Inside it, you have got thread-like structures. They are called chromatins. That is only when the cell is immature, when the cell is about to be matured, or when the cell is about to divide. These chromatins, they arrange themselves and they form certain rod-shaped structures called chromosomes. Inside the nucleus, you have got another round, dense body that is called the nucleolus. You have got the pores. So let us summarize the structure of the nucleus. As I told you, the nucleus is a dark colored, spherical or an oval dot-like structure near the center of each cell. The nucleus has a double layered covering called the nuclear membrane, which is porous. And because it is porous, it allows the materials to transfer from inside the nucleus to the cytoplasm. The nucleus contains chromosomes, but these chromosomes are visible as rod-shaped structures only when the cell is about to divide. In the beginning, they appear as entangled mass of thread-like structures called chromatins. The chromosomes contain the information, as I told you, let us refer to the notes. The chromosomes contain information for inheritance of features from parents to the next generation in the form of DNA, deoxyribonucleic molecules. Chromosomes are composed of DNA and protein. DNA molecules contain the information necessary for constructing and organizing cell. Functional segments of DNA are called genes, and genes help in the inheritance of characters. That's all about the structure of the nucleus. Let us go to a very important topic about nucleus, functions of nucleus. Nucleus plays an important role in cellular reproduction. Cellular reproduction means it is a process by which a single cell divides into two new cells. It also plays an important part along with the environment in determining the way the cell will develop and what form it will exhibit at maturity. Let me explain that point. After division, after reproduction, when a new cell is formed, suppose a child from the parental genes, from the father's genes and from the mother's genes, when the cell of the zygote is formed, the nucleus helps in determining what form the zygote will develop, what characters it will have, and what characters it will be exhibiting at the time of maturity. All these are shown by the nucleus. So these 2 points, that is functions of nucleus, are very important. Nucleus plays an important role in cellular reproduction, and it also plays an important role in determining the way the cell will develop and what form it will exhibit at maturity. Now we go to the next topic, the prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms. The terms are quite clear to you because you have learned a little bit about them in 8th standard. In some organisms like bacteria, the nuclear region of the cell is very poorly defined because they don't have a proper nuclear membrane. Such an undefined nuclear region containing only nucleic acids is called nucleoid. So such organisms whose cells lack a nuclear membrane are called prokaryotes. Pro means primitive, karyon is nucleus. But on the other hand, organisms with cells having a well-developed nuclear membrane, a well-defined cell organelle, are called eukaryotes. Eu means true, karyon means nucleus. So this is the basic difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes, they lack many things. They lack a well-defined nuclear membrane. They lack a well-defined nucleus. They don't have well-developed cell organelles. Whereas all these things are possessed by the eukaryotic organism. But then in the prokaryotic organisms, they have got nucleic acids. And because they are having nucleic acids, the prokaryotic organism is said to have a nucleoid, or the prokaryotic organism is said to be a nucleoid. Prokaryotic cells, as I told you, they lack most of the cell organelles, and many functions of these organelles are performed by poorly developed parts. For example, in the photosynthetic prokaryotic bacteria, the chlorophyll is associated with certain bag-like structures. They are called vesicles. Bag-like structures called vesicles, but not with plastids. Plastids, you know, they are well-developed structures found in the eukaryotic organism, but plastids are absent in the prokaryotes, and therefore, because plastids are absent in the photosynthetic prokaryotic bacteria, the chlorophyll is associated with certain bag-like structures called vesicles. Let me show you the diagram of the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. As you can see on the screen, you have the eukaryotic cell in front of you and the prokaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell looks quite developed. It has got a nucleus, it has got nucleolus, it has got mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, etc. Whereas a prokaryotic cell, maybe a bacterial cell, its nuclear region is very poorly developed. It does not have a nuclear membrane. Instead, it has got some nucleic acids inside. That is why it is called nucleoid. It has got a cell wall, but it does not have any other cell organelles. Let us go back to the contents part. Yes. So as I told you, prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms, they are very important. The distinguishing part of prokaryotic and eukaryotic is also very important.